You're watching South Asia Newsline, and here are the top stories we are tracking for you on Monday, the 8th of September. Relief efforts intensify in India's flood-hit Punjab. Rare blood moon seen in India during the total lunar eclipse. And protest against social media ban and corruption turns violent in Nepal. And now for all the details. Volunteers from various non-profit organizations have come together in India's flood-hit Punjab state as rescue efforts have gained momentum. They said essentials including sanitary pads, tarpaulin and mosquito nets were being provided to the stranded families in Fazilka town in Punjab. At least 40 people have been killed and around 2,000 villages in Punjab have been inundated during this monsoon season, according to local reports.
हर तरफ आप देख रहे हैं घरों में पानी आया हुआ है। यहाँ पे जनरली लोग कोई 2 मंजिल के घर नहीं डालते, 1 मंजिल का घर ही होता है। उसमें पूरा पानी भरा हुआ है, लोग अपनी छतों पे बैठे हुए हैं। सो हम उनके लिए तरपालें, दैट इज़ टारपोलिन्स आर देयर, जो वो अपना सामान जो भी नेसेसिटी है वो ढक लेते हैं। वो एक टेंट बना लेते हैं छत के ऊपर और वहाँ रह रहे हैं। वहाँ हम उनको मस्कीटो नेट्स, ओडोमॉस, सैनिटरी नैपकिन्स और जो भी डेली नीड्स होती हैं वो हम उनको पहुँचा रहे हैं।
Meanwhile, heavy rainfall have also wreaked havoc in parts of Indian capital, where a swollen Yamuna river inundated low-lying areas, including houses and damaged property. In Bahadurgarh, in northern Haryana state, drone footage showed vehicles at a stockyard of Indian automakers partially submerged in water. And India witnessed a rare blood moon during the total lunar eclipse on Sunday. Space enthusiasts across various cities gathered in planetariums to watch the natural phenomena closely through telescopes. When the Earth, Moon and the Sun align together, a total lunar eclipse occurs, in which the Sun's light is blocked out. The reddish appearance of the lunar surface is caused by rays of sunlight around the outer edge of the eclipse shadow or umbra being filtered and refracted as it passes through Earth's atmosphere, bathing the Moon indirectly in a dim copper glow. The degree of redness depends on atmospheric conditions that vary with levels of air pollution, dust storms, wildfire smoke, and even volcanic ash. The next total lunar eclipse is expected to happen in 2028.
Today we have a great event. This is occurring after a few years. The next event will be on 2028, December 31st. This is a total lunar eclipse. Otherwise, we can see partial eclipses.
So the speciality is the scattering. What happens? The light that is coming from the sun, that gets scattered. Most of the light, other wavelengths get scattered, and only the red penetrates through the Earth's atmosphere. It is because of the atmospheric conditions of the Earth, that the moons you see is red.
Moving on. Junaid Qureshi, the director of think tank EFSAS, has called India the legal owner of Jammu and Kashmir, urging the need for a stronger national narrative. He accused Pakistan of decades of terrorism and warned that it continues to threaten peace and tourism in the valley. A report.
The European Foundation for South Asian Studies, EFSA's director Junaid Qureshi has stressed the need for a strong national narrative, saying, India is the legal owner of J&K and must build its own narrative. He added that research based on evidence and data is crucial, and that Kashmir's youth must be at the center of it.
बात यह है, हिंदुस्तान जम्मू कश्मीर का लीगल टाइटल ओनर है। पीओके भी हिंदुस्तान का हिस्सा है, गिलियत बल्तिस्तान भी हिंदुस्तान का हिस्सा है, और हम हमेशा काउंटर नैरेटिव पेश करते हैं, एज इफ हमें कुछ छुपा रहे हैं या हमारी कोई गलती है। यहाँ पर जरूरत है हिंदुस्तान को, और जो कश्मीरी हैं, जो हिंदुस्तान के साथ खड़े हैं, जमहूरियत के साथ खड़े हैं, उनको ये चाहिए अपना एक नैरेटिव बिल्ड करना। आप यहाँ पर कश्मीरी, और वो तब तक नहीं होगा जब तक आप एविडेंस फाउंडेशनल बेस पे लोगों को एजुकेट नहीं करेंगे, खा वो टेररिज्म के बारे में देखें। यहां पर कश्मीरी जो लोग थे जो सेक्युलरिज्म की बात करते थे, उनको हिंदुस्तान ने तो नहीं मारा ना, उनको टेररिज्म ने मारा।
Qureshi accused Islamabad of backing terrorism for decades and warned of fresh escalation in Kashmir. Citing the Pahalgam attack, he said Pakistan-sponsored terror threatens tourism and peace in the valley.
और पाकिस्तान सिर्फ और सिर्फ अपनी कौमी मुफाद के लिए कश्मीरियों का इस्तेमाल करके, कश्मीरियों का कत्ल करके, कश्मीरियों की खून की नदियां बहा के अपने कौमी मुफाद, जिसका रिलेशन सबसे ज्यादा एक तो दो कौमी नजरिए से है, दूसरा उनके जो पानी के मसले हैं उससे है, और उनके जो टेररिज्म की जो उन्होंने एक फैक्ट्री वहां पर बनाई है, उनको वो लाहौर और कराची में तो नहीं छोड़ सकते ना, उनको उन्होंने कोई ना कोई जिहाद का रास्ता दिखाना है। तो ये सारी चीजें इकट्ठी करके हमें ये समझने की जरूरत है कि पाकिस्तान जो है, पाकिस्तान यहां पर हर किस्म की तखरीबकारी, दहशतगर्दी, कत्लो गैरत, रेप का जिम्मेदार है।
A week after the devastating earthquake in eastern Afghanistan, the death toll has crossed over 2,200, with survivors living in tents and makeshift shelters amid continuing aftershocks. Rescue operations remain slow as aid agencies warn of a looming humanitarian crisis.
As the death toll has crossed more than 2,200 mark after the 6.0 magnitude earthquake struck Afghanistan, survivors in hard-hit villages are forced to live in tents and makeshift shelters, too afraid to return to their damaged homes amid continuing aftershocks. The quake and fear of further tremors have deeply affected families and livelihoods in the area. Relief efforts have been hampered by foreign aid cuts. U.S.-funded medical supplies remain in storage, awaiting Washington's approval. Once Afghanistan's largest aid donor, the United States has yet to authorize emergency relief following the closure of the U.S. Agency for International Development in the country.
چې موږ ډوډۍ خورو په خپله یارې باندې ځو نغریم دی خوا دغه کې تیارې کړي دي هلته دیګ کوو په منډه ځو دیګ کې دغه پیاز اچو دا ټماټر اچو بیرته دې صحرا ته وځو چې موږ باندې دغه دیوال رانه شي دغه رانه شي موږ ډېره په تنګ یو دې دغه نه او ډوډۍ غم خپله کوو.
Survivors in the northeastern province of Kashmir described their ordeal as two powerful aftershocks struck 12 hours apart, compounding fears of more destruction. The initial earthquake, which hit just before midnight on August 31st, struck at a shallow depth of 10 kilometers in Nangarhar and Kashmir provinces. A second quake of magnitude 5.5 on September 2nd triggered landslides and blocked access to remote villages, further disrupting rescue operations. Survivors have been left with nothing but the clothes on their backs, struggling to find food, shelter, and medical care.
د کورونه راوتلي دي او دلته مسله د تجیر او مرتواله د خو موږ سره تر اوسه کوم کومک نه دی شوی ځکه موږ دغه کوم شهیدان او کوم داسې خاص دغه نه لرو او مالی تلفات ډېر دی او ځاني نشته.
Aid agencies warn of a looming humanitarian crisis, with the United Nations and World Health Organization appealing for urgent funds and supplies. The WHO alone is seeking $4 million to support relief efforts.
دولت دې د خطر راوېستلو ول د تیږې راغښتلې وسم زلزلې دي وطن خوځېږي که نه سارم دونه زلزله وشوه دا غرونه ټول داسې راکېناستل پوه شولې زموږ هلته سات نه تېري وروره دا زموږ دغه دی پوه شولې اډر دی زموږ هلته وخت نه تېرېږي ځکه چې کوټې هم نشته دی باران ته خو وخت نشو تېرولی او چې د سوري دی نو شهیدان هم شي د شپې په باران ناغی پوه شولې ټول بارانه ووال څو کسانو 15 کسان په یو ځای خواره کړي یو پارټي کې ملکان د ویستله په هغې کې 1500 کسان واچول نور هم زاړه خبرونه نه دي دا هم دغه کله په هغو کې هم دا ډوب کړه.
And Nepal's Prime Minister KP Sharma Oli's CPN-UML party has strongly opposed the recent India-China agreement to reopen border trade through the disputed Lipulekh region. In a 28-point proposal, the party urged India and China to withdraw from the pact and called on the Nepal government to assert its rights over the territory east of the Kali River through high-level diplomatic channels. In August, New Delhi and Beijing agreed to resume trade via Lipulekh, Shipkila and Nathula, drawing objections from Kathmandu, which termed the decision unilateral. Nepal has repeatedly protested India-China deals on Lipulekh, first struck during PM Modi's 2015 China visit. India has rejected Nepal's stance, insisting Lipulekh has historically been used for trade and is an integral part of its territory. In the past, the dispute had intensified in 2020 when Nepal, during PM Oli's previous tenure, issued a new political map incorporating the Indian territories of Limpiodora, Kalapani and Lipulekh. Tensions escalated after India inaugurated a road through Lipulekh the same year. And at least 9 protesters were reportedly killed in Nepal as police clashed with thousands of young demonstrators opposing a social media ban and corruption. Violence erupted outside Parliament in Kathmandu on Monday, where protesters tried to storm the building after police barricades were broken. Officers responded with tear gas, rubber bullets and live fire, prompting authorities to impose a curfew around the Parliament. The unrest followed last week's government order blocking platforms such as Facebook for failing to register locally, citing fake accounts spreading hate speech, misinformation and fraud. The crackdown has fueled widespread anger among Gen Z, who see it as an attack on free expression amid mounting frustration over unemployment and corruption. Prime Minister KP Sharma Oli's government, already under fire for unfulfilled promises, now faces heightened scrutiny. Nepal's move mirrors a global trend of tighter regulation on social media and big tech over misinformation and security concerns. Meanwhile, Bangladesh is facing a fast worsening public health crisis as dengue and chikungunya spread simultaneously, overwhelming hospitals and raising fears of a larger outbreak. According to the Directorate General of Health Services, the country has reported over 33,800 dengue cases and 132 deaths this year. In the first week of September alone, 10 people died and more than 1,500 were hospitalized with fever. Chikungunya, largely absent for years, has also returned. Between January and July, 4 Dhaka labs confirmed 785 cases, with detection rates above 30% in some facilities. In Chittagong, 30 new cases were reported in a single day, pushing the city's total to nearly 3,000. Hospitals are under severe strain. Dhaka Medical College Hospital, the nation's largest, is treating over 3 times its patient capacity. Experts warn the crisis may worsen unless mosquito control efforts intensify. Bangladesh saw its deadliest year in 2023 with 1,705 dengue deaths and more than 320,000 infections. The WHO has called dengue one of the fastest growing global threats, driven by climate change and urban density. Experts stress urgent year-round mosquito control and stronger hospital preparedness. That's all in tonight's edition. We will see you same time tomorrow. Good night.